Hello, people. It's your boy J Truth. Okay. Well, it's something that I really need to talk about is pay very close attention to these pro-blacks. Pay very close attention to them because they really are straight hypocrites. They are straight bona fide hypocrites. They'll preach this white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. They teach your ass how to be victims of white supremacy, but they doesn't give you any resolution on how to, how to fight against white supremacy. They don't. They don't. They just play victims all the time. And it's four things that known pro-blacks do not address. One, they don't address any Jews. Because let's face it, Jews are the main ones that's pretty much behind white supremacy. But you don't hear any of these pro-blacks addressing it. They'll bring it up, but they don't address it. Why they don't bring it up? Because they already know that most of these pro-black, most of all these Jews and everything, they have enough juice and power to shut that dude down. And most of the pro-blacks are in these Jews' pockets. Then when you bring it up to them, they get scared. You pay attention to these pro-blacks. They don't address any Jews. They don't talk about Jews at all. I know this for a fact. They don't address that. They don't address about the kids. And what I mean by the kids is the physical and the mental abuse that goes on to the kids. They say they care about the kids, but really in retrospect, they don't. They don't care about the kids. Because if they did, they'd be addressing pedophilia in the nigga community, because it's more pedophiles in the nigga community than it is any other race of people in the world. But y'all give pedophilia a fucking pass. I give you 2 prime examples. I'm gonna keep drilling this shit into your head. You get bitty ass shit, Eddie Long, a fucking pass. He played with your son's balls, and y'all gave this dude a pass. He's still king of the congregation. Y'all gave this dude a pass, and he's a known pedophile. Then you gave R. Kelly a fucking pass, and they had proof and victims, had proof and evidence and all that floating on the internet, even down the head in court. He got away with it. And y'all gave him a fucking pass for his pedophilia. But you didn't hear any of the pro-blacks say anything about that. You don't. You don't hear any pro-blacks addressing pedophilia. They don't even address abuse. And most of the kids out here is getting abused, physical, mentally, and sexual. The sexual part is when these little boys out here getting raped by other dudes, and getting beat by other dudes, including their mamas, because some of their mamas out here are raping their little sons and stuff like that, because they in fear of being by themselves, and they be claiming they little boys as they man. That's what comes to the Oedipus complex. Okay. And your daughters abused by the daughter. I said the daughter is being abused by the other dude, the random dudes that your mama bring in, because she's scared to be by herself with kids, with you. And when dude wind up raping you or anything happens to you, you get blamed more than the dude out there. And 90% of these women out here is pretty much, some of them are raping their little daughters. Y'all seen Precious. That's why half of y'all niggas didn't like Precious, because that shit can relate. Half of y'all felt that shit. That's why half of these pro-blacks didn't address that shit. They don't address that shit. And y'all know this shit goes on, especially pro-blacks. They know it goes on, but they don't address it because they really don't care about this shit. It's all about white supremacy, right? It's okay to talk about white supremacy, but we already know most of y'all, like I addressed in my last video, y'all pro-blacks are scared to address it. So y'all scared to do something about it. So that's all y'all do is preach that victimhood is. Okay. That victimization. Okay. And third, they don't even check their women. And they women out here is making complete fools out of everybody. It's all because the black women has single-handedly set the black race back, turn them back into niggas. And y'all pro-blacks don't address them on that. If you do address these bitches, you kissing and licking their ass, you come on as a point to uplift them. Let me get something straight. I'm not uplifting any female, black, white, or whatever when they constantly fucking up. Especially black women when they constantly fucking up. They always fucking up. They known for fucking up. What's the point of uplifting their ass and all that other shit? When pro-blacks don't address these women out here fucking it up for you. It's all because of them fucking women that's getting brothers out there in the streets killed. You don't hear not one pro-black out here addressing that shit. You don't hear them addressing black women. Hell no. They're excusing them. They excuse that shit. They blame all that shit on white supremacy, on why the black women are acting the way they do. Yeah, white supremacy had a hand on about that shit because they created them. They planted the seed, they nurtured that shit, and they made it grow. So the black woman's more at fault than white supremacy. I blame white supremacy for planting the seed, but for nurture, you got to nurture shit. You got to manifest that shit before it grow. And black women done that shit, and these pro-blacks don't address that shit. I'm just calling it the way I see it. And lastly, they don't even address the elderly abuse. They don't address elderly, and most of these elderly out here is getting abused too, financially and physical. Then when that elderly person get old, money start drying up, they ain't got no money, they get tired of taking care of them. You know how niggas do. They won't do shit to save face. They throw them in the home. If you go to any nursing home and assisted living, I guarantee you see more blacks out, more blacks in those homes than any other race out here. Why? Because this is what the dudes with these niggas do. They dump their elderly in the home and don't visit them. The only time they visit them is on birthdays and holidays. Other than that, they completely forget about them. And the pro-blacks don't address that shit at all. They don't address that shit at all. That's why I say pay very close attention. They say they really care about their people and everything, but they don't address the Jews. They don't address the Jews, call them out on anything. They don't call out some of this elderly abuse, elder abuse, but child abuse, even down to the human trafficking. Don't you realize that mostly black and Latinos are the only group of kids out here that's getting snatched up in human trafficking than any other race? But these pro-blacks know it, but they don't address it. Well, yeah, they're supposed to be about the kids, right? That's why I say pay attention to them. They don't really care about the kids. It's all about their own self-agenda. About the kids, okay? They don't say shit about the women because the women got their ass in check. They scared of their women. They scared of their women. They women are running them. They don't address their ass at all. And lastly, they don't address what happens to their elderly. They old when they get old and gray. So the next time any of these pro-blacks out here start running their mouth, because they'll run their mouth about white supremacy and all that other shit. Yeah, we get up there. What can we do? Give us some pointers on what the people, what these niggas out here in the street can do to fight against it. Oh, I forgot. You got to pay him. You got to pay him for his videos and for his lectures and for some shit that you should know automatically. Oh, I forgot your mama's broke, y'all, so y'all don't know how to fight against white supremacy. Any pro-blacks don't know how to fight it. They know how to run their mouth about it, but real about it. They don't address any real shit. Any Jews or anything like that. They always blaming white supremacy and everything. And like I said it once, and I'm going to keep saying that shit. White supremacy planted the seed. These niggas out here so damn slow and gullible manifest that shit, made it grow. And yet, you do not hear any of these pro-blacks really addressing real white supremacy. You don't. And I'm just calling it the way I see it. Till next time, this your boy J Truth. As always, thank you for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'm out.